Why do CLOs need to be on the blockchain?
Look, I think everything needs to be on the blockchain, right?
Really?
The blockchain is a better ledger, and capital markets run on antiquated ledger technologies that are silo or not connected.
So is everything that's not on the blockchain going to be on the blockchain?
I think so. I think we're going to tokenize the world, and everything that is on a ledger will upgrade to a better ledger technology, and that's what a blockchain is.
So what does tokenization of CLOs do? Who does it serve most?
So look, one of the most successful tokenized products are treasuries. Obviously, we have the largest one with the build product from Blackrock. And if you think about where the market is heading, interest rates are coming down. So people are going to be looking for things that are a higher interest than treasuries, but they still are safe and liquid. And CLOs is kind of like the most adjacent thing. This is a AAA rated CLO product.
So potential investors or existing investors?
I think both. We're getting the 100 million seed allocation. This is going to be our 7th fund that has tokenized fund with more than $100 million from Grove, which is part of the Sky ecosystem, the former MakerDAO. It's an existing investor, but they're just putting additional money into this new product. So
I want to dig into the idea of everything being tokenized. I mean, I think if we could have a theme for 2025, perhaps that would be it. I mean, Vlad Tenev talks about this at Robinhood, putting private companies on the blockchain so people can have access to them. But at the end of the day, there are these rules about who can invest in these sorts of things. The idea is investor protection, and if we open those things up to people who may not be so-called accredited investors, is that dangerous in some way?
Actually, tokenization doesn't change those rules, right? So tokenization is just upgrading the ledger where the securities sit to make them easier to transact, consume, etc. But if a product is only for accredited investors, it's still only for accredited investors, even if it's tokenized or not. So there's a misperception thinking that tokenization changes the regulations, and that's actually not true. So I don't think that there's any additional risks on tokenization that on traditional, capital markets rails. It's actually the opposite. You get more, transparency, insurance about the ownership, etc. So.
Does tokenization matter as much to retail investors as it does to institutional investors?
I think it matters a lot to retail because at the same, any technology that, makes things cheaper, easier, more accessible, obviously pending the regulatory, framework, makes it easier to consume for retail people. Like, large investors, they have armies of people that they can deal with inefficiencies in markets that retail people don't have. So I think it's a great equalizer for accessing financial services products.
Because if you believe in the American dream that your kid goes to college, will get a good job, I mean, that's going to become less likely as entry-level jobs get automated.
So to the AI piece, we keep talking about, Microsoft, Meta, Google just came out with their earnings. They're spending an extraordinary amount of money on all of this. I keep thinking for them to actually grow into those earnings, meaning grow into those valuations, they have to create an extraordinary amount of productivity.
Yeah.
That means that there probably has to be a lot less jobs ultimately.
Yeah.
And then the question is, who's going to pay for all of this stuff?
Yeah, where's the revenue going to come from? Because right now the valuation suggests that revenues have to 10 or 20x pretty quickly in order to justify the tens and hundreds of billions that's being invested in computing infrastructure and AI and everything else. And that money would have to come from somewhere, either consumers or corporates. Look, AI is real. It is decimating entry-level jobs. You are seeing it from the Amazon report, from Chegg. But at the same time, I do think that there's exuberant optimism in terms of the pace at which those revenues are going to show up and the pricing power that these AI firms are going to be able to enjoy, because there are several of them.
Right.
There's also competition ultimately from Chinese models.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And what did Carlos Domingo say? All that money that's sitting in these money market accounts is going to chase yield. So what is the Fed trying to do? Get ahead of what's about to happen. Because they're going to leave treasuries and go chase something that's going to give them a bigger yield, especially when you're talking about billions and billions of dollars. And due to the Genius Act, these stable coins are not going to give them a yield. So big money is going to chase yield. And that's going to hurt the United States economy. But remember, guys, this is a plan that moves in phases. The Fed is always 2 to 3 steps ahead, and the people have no clue. If they understood finances, this game would not work. But everything is going to be tokenized and put on blockchain. And we see why these stablecoin issuers have to be banks. Because, of course, they're going to be buying the U.S. Treasuries, the short end, just like the Fed is. And this keeps the Fed in control of the money supply. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we're getting layoff after layoff after layoff. And of course, it's not because of AI just yet. Again, the big banks and big corporations are getting ahead of what's about to happen. If these valuations were correct, they would be able to hire quadruple the people, but instead they're letting all these people go. And we know that machines are going to increase productivity. And everybody's asking, who's going to be buying these items? Well, guys, you only have a handful of companies that own everything. And when you're looking at China, India, and Africa, you're talking about at least 1 trillion people that's going to come out from poverty to the middle class. So even though you may have to drop prices, these corporations are still going to be making plenty of money because they're going to be the last ones standing. These small and medium-sized businesses are going to fall by the wayside. The small and medium-sized banks are going to fall by the wayside. It's just going to be these corporations left. Remember, this is a plan that moves in phases, and we saw the experiment, the simulation done right in front of our face. Who was allowed to be open during the C word? Just the big corporations. Mom and pops were closed. But the fourth industrial revolution has nothing to do with money because the powers that be have all the money. This is about power and control. And when you're talking about giving free money to the people, and then also when you're looking at the virtual world, it's also going to be easy to depopulate. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Remember, if they can download you, they can definitely delete you. I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we had Trump and Xi meet, and the two superpowers are eventually going to collide. And Trump told the Pentagon, start testing those nuclear weapons. So guys, we know this is nothing but a movie. It's all planned to get us moved over to the fourth industrial revolution. They have to have a big enough distraction for the people to beg for these machines. Remember, it's problem, reaction, solution. They want the people begging for free money, which right now they're doing now, because if they think they're not going to be getting the EBT, and then they want them to beg for these machines. Too scared to leave the home. We've seen this movie before, but we have the Middle East heating up. We have Venezuela, and we know China and Russia is helping out Venezuela. So we already have the two sides. We know what the BRICS are doing. And when it comes to crypto, this digital economy is rising in the emerging markets in the Middle East. And the West is last. The United States is behind on purpose. And again, so the people beg for this technology. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have another Mag 7 doing a stock split, Netflix. And these Mag 7 stocks are going to start correcting right along with these AI stocks. We also had ServiceNow do a stock split. But we are going to have AI embedded in everything that we do. Robots, algorithms, and drones will take majority of the jobs. If you're a police officer, they don't need you. Firefighter, they don't need you. Paramedic, doctor, they don't need you. And all this AI is doing is running simulations. Now, we had an AI gun detector in one of the schools. The kid just had Doritos, and AI thought it was a gun, and police officers showed up. And we know when it comes to these algorithms, we have people that train the algorithms. So these algorithms are going to have the same bias as the people doing the job now. And that's the reason why it's so important for you to educate yourself and understand this technology because it is moving like a locomotive. It's going to move so fast over these next 2 to 3 years, you're going to think that you're in a movie. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Temporary something, maybe more than that, with China. And at the same time, you heard the president say, we're going to start testing nuclear weapons. And I think people are trying to make sense of the two.
Well, we had a good conversation, it sounds like, with Xi last night while we were sleeping. And he said it was 12 out of 10. They got what he wanted, which I think is good for the markets, positive overall. This conflict with Russia, the war was not as easy to end, apparently, as some of us were hoping. And I think he tested these. I mean, listen, these are scary things they have over the last 10 years Russia's developed. Yeah, and it's like the self-driving car of nuclear weapon. These things go in the water. And it's, our nuclear triad, we don't have these, as far as I know. These are different. We don't need them. We have a triad already. These things are scary. They could take out cities, and he's talking about those. He's testing 14,000 kilometer, missiles with nukes on them. We have a lot of nukes too, and it's important we show that we have a deterrent. Trump's saying the right things.
And do you think, just real quick, that this is real? I mean, we were talking to Ambassador Burns earlier. Given the timing of that announcement, obviously, contextually, he talked about it in the context of Russia, but he also announced it within the timing of his talks with President Xi. So how related do you think these two are?
Listen, I think Trump knows you have to show strength, right? And I think you have to show strength in a respectful way. It's probably a better way to show strength talking about it versus another adversary when you're going to visit someone's home.
Do you think it was a mistake then over the last 30 years for us not to be doing such a thing? I mean, President Bush, many years ago, tried to de-escalate things in this context.
I think there's certain parts of the world where when you show strength, it's really important. I think America was so dominant in the 80s and 90s, especially after the Cold War ended, that you almost didn't even need to say it. I think at this point, if you look at what she's said and thinks about China, he said he thinks the West is in decline. He's growing. We're showing him that's not true. We're showing him with our new advances we're making in the defense world. We're showing with what Trump's saying, we're not just going to fade away and be an easy target. You better watch out.
For one stock split that will be affected through an amendment to the company's certificate of incorporation, and that is set to be as of the close of trading on Monday, November 10th. We see Netflix shares up about 2.5% on this news.
And we're in Seminole County, where a new AI system is giving law enforcement and health professionals an upper hand when it comes to preventing and predicting drug overdoses in advance.
I'm convinced that this will be the model that is used across the country.
The AI system that was launched this week is already scanning real-time data across the state and issuing warnings before people die.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.